Judges number 207 in the matter of Thomas versus Eclavia. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome, Judge.
Ms. Thomas, the basis of your complaint is that the defendant had you falsely arrested, according to you, for assault, which caused you to be embarrassed, humiliated, stressed, strained, etc., etc. Is that right?
Yes.
And your story is a rather interesting one, and I think that probably it needs an airing because it led up to this arrest.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
How do you know her?
When I lived in Washington State about 7 years ago, I knew her just from the neighborhood we lived in. We were friends. We've been friends. Then I ran into her again down here about a year and a half ago. So we've been friends and stayed in contact here and there when we didn't lose touch with each other for almost 7 years now.
Now, you were both living on a Navy base?
Navy, military housing.
Military, both of you?
Yes, different complexes.
I understand. And according to the papers that I've seen, there was a transaction with a car that started all this trouble.
Right.
Well, tell me about that.
Okay. I sold her the car for $100 and I let her make payments on it because they had no money, no vehicle or anything. Then I went on vacation. I signed the title and gave her the keys on the agreement that she would get it out of my name on her husband's next payday because I was leaving on vacation. And then
what kind of car was this?
Dodge 400. I bought a new car and I
How old was the car?
I think at 84 or something.
So it was a real old car?
Yeah.
She sold you the car?
No, she sold it to my husband. I don't even drive. I've never driven.
She sold it to you or your husband, but there was an understanding that you would get it out of her name so she wouldn't be liable for it anymore.
Yes.
Did you do that?
The agreement was she would wait until we had the money, which would be the next paycheck.
But then
the
you
way
didn't.
The Navy was.
But you didn't do it the next paycheck.
We didn't have the money at that time.
I don't care whether you didn't have
back.
the money. That's not her problem that you didn't have the money. Let me just understand this. And you didn't fulfill your agreement with her next paycheck to get the car out of her name. That's what this whole argument was about. Is that correct?
That's what started it, yes.
So then what happened?
Then she tells me on the day I got home that she had sold the car and it's out of my name. So I called the DMV and it was still in my name. In fact, it's in my name to this day.
Did you tell her that you sold the car?
Yes, I did sell the car. My husband and I had separated, and I didn't have any finances, so I did sell the car.
Now tell me about this assault. How did this all take place?
It was basically because her husband was driving a car around in my name uninsured. Then she sold it to somebody I don't even know who's driving it around in my name uninsured.
She's very irresponsible.
Then I talked to her on the phone and she said, come over and get your cat. She had my cat while I was on vacation. I went over there. We got into a verbal argument. All I did was throw
over the car.
Over the car, yes, and her not getting it out of my name. All I did was throw the litter box on the ground, and the next thing I know, the police are at my house telling me that I assaulted her and I threatened her life if she didn't sign a bill of sale. And I just kept insisting I didn't do this, and they kept telling me, this is what you did. And they arrested me.
Do you have a copy of the complaint?
The police report?
Yes.
No, I tried to get it, but it had been over 60 days, so they wouldn't give it to me without a court order.
This is untrue, what she says.
Just a minute. Did you call the police?
Yes, I did, and the
Why?
reason why I called the police is when she came to pick up her mail and her cat, when I turned around to get the mail, she threw the cat on me to where it clawed my back, and its claw stuck in my back. Then I went and I tried to get outside to where somebody could see what she was doing. I did not have a phone in my home. My neighbors heard and saw her yell at me and say that she was going to come back and kill me.
You called the police?
Yes, I did call the police. She assaulted me in my own home.
Well, just a minute. Did you throw your cat on her?
No, my cat was pregnant. I would not harm my cat in any way. I never touched her. I will take a lie detector. I will do anything. I never touched her. I never assaulted. I never threatened her life. I never did any of that. The only thing her neighbors saw.
You might have said a lot of loud things because you were angry.
Exactly. But the only thing the neighbor saw was me throw the kitty litter box on the ground, which was empty, and say, I'll be back later for the car because she told me to come back for the car. The guy who bought it doesn't want to deal with this.
Do you have any photographs of how the cat injured you?
I had them at home, but I never got them developed because I dropped charges on her.
Just a second.
I did not want those charges.
Hold on a second. Well, even if you didn't want to press charges then in the criminal proceeding, you're here today, so you knew you were coming to court today. Why didn't you get the pictures developed?
Because I did not even want to have it brought this far.
But you
She
knew
has
you were
3
coming here,
children,
madam.
and I did not want it brought this far.
Well,
She did not drop the charges. They dropped the charges because she never
No, that is
responded
untrue.
to any of it.
That
The
is
DA
untrue.
dropped the charges.
No,
she
it is
never
not.
responded to them.
How
I had
long
to
were
go
you in
to
jail?
a mediator. 72 hours.
it's
No,
outrageous.
that is untrue.
My
Whenever-
bill was $15,000. I was in there with hookers and prostitutes that could have got out for $150. Mine would have been $1,500.
Miss Thomas, had you ever been arrested before?
No, I was taken to the police station one time for police disturbance when I was like 18 or 19.
You also say in your complaint that the defendant wrote letters to your husband
Yes.
while he was away at
That's what
sea.
I have it right here.
I'd like to see those letters, please.
Do you want to see the one to my housing manager?
Yes, I want to see
This
all
is
the
the one
letters.
to my housing manager. It's signed Concerned Citizen, but you can tell the handwriting matches it perfectly.
Can I see them?
Every thing you can imagine she wrote about me.
Excuse me. If she is so nice and innocent, then why do my children fear her? The same day that she assaulted me, my son is coming home from school. She pulls up to him as he's crossing the street from the school, and she tells him that if you don't get out of the street, she's gonna run him over, an 11-year-old boy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You are full of baloney, because if you had injuries in pictures, you would have brought them.
And later today,
I think at the time he had something for me or an infatuation for me, and he thought he could get on the good side of me by posting a $5,000 bail.
Well, that was nice.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Georgina Thomas says her former friend, Carolyn Niclavia, had her falsely arrested after an argument over a car.
Right now, all I have is her complaint. Put it down.
This
I'm
card?
speaking. I have her complaint. In her complaint, she mentioned several things. You want to sue her? If you think you have a cause of action,
No, I did not
file a
want to
complaint.
sue.
I'm asking you, did you write to her husband, Ron?
Her husband had
I
asked
just-
me
the
time and
answer
time
is
again.
yes
I
or
did
no.
write him.
Good.
Yes,
and this
he
is
wanted to know if
hey,
she was having an affair.
Hey, you pay attention to me. You wrote her husband. Did you write to her husband before or after this incident involving the police?
Afterwards.
What a
How
friend.
long had you known her husband?
I've known him before I met her.
So you felt compelled to say that his wife was cheating on
Yes,
him
he
as
had
a
asked me time
boyfriend.
and time again whether she was having an affair. And
When
yes,
did
I
he-
did write, and I did tell her, because the boyfriend was coming to the house where I babysit, where I live, harassing my sons.
It's not true.
Yes, it is
Shh.
true.
Just a second. All of this didn't seem to bother you when you bought her car.
Because
Yeah,
I
but
did
just
not
a
buy it.
second.
I don't even
listen,
drive.
Listen to me. All these things, the boyfriend, who was, according to you, when you wrote this letter to the landlord, a convicted felon. She sells pounds of weed and cocaine out of her house. All of these things didn't bother you when she sold you the car a few weeks before this incident occurred. How come all these things just bothered you after the car incident?
Because the harassment didn't start until after she had the problem with my husband. To me, it was
Just a
her
minute, what-
business.
just a
I have
second,
no
what-
right to judge her.
So,
but when
what-
she started harassing me, harassing my children, and assaulting me, then yes, I believe.
Then
yes.
all of a sudden, just a minute, then all of a sudden you decided that her husband had to know, the landlord had to know about all these charges after that. But before it was okay.
I did call the DA
Just a
that
second.
had pressed charges
Hey,
time and time again.
just a second.
And no one would come because I could not afford the restraining order against her.
You don't have to afford a restraining order, madam. All you have to do is go to court, and if you have a case, you can get a restraining order. Don't give me a lot of baloney. Instead of using the court system, what you did was you wrote letters designed to make trouble for her.
Thank you.
That's what you did. And calling the police, because I don't believe she threw her cat at you.
Oh, that is
Oh, no, I don't believe it, because I believe, madam, if she threw her cat at you, you are organized enough, based upon these letters, to have developed the photographs, which you say you have at home.
I do
When you
have
knew
them,
you
I
were
don't
coming to
care.
court today to show me the injuries, you are organized enough to do that. So I don't believe that there were any injuries. I believe that she did
Then why
probably...
would the district attorney look at him on my arms, on my back, and decide
Do
that
you-
he would press charges? If there was
Mrs.
nothing
Slava-
wrong, why would he take her to jail?
You are full of baloney, because if you had injuries in pictures, you would have brought them. Now, the only issue is, what kind of damages am I going to assess against you? Because I believe that you are a nasty, vindictive person.
Can I explain a little
That's
more?
what I believe. You are a nasty, vindictive person. And I believe that she's entitled to be compensated. Now, the truth is, you threw down this item at her.
I'm kidding.
Okay?
Not at her, on the ground.
Whatever, Miss Thomas. You were angry. Very angry. And you probably did say something like you're going to be back because you probably got into a major altercation with her. I don't believe that she had the right, really, at that point, because she was not, in fact, injured by you, to call the police. But I believe that there is more of a vindictiveness involved here than anything else. As a result of that letter that she wrote to your husband, did anything happen?
We're now getting divorced, yes.
Well, it wasn't just because of this letter, is that
No,
right?
we were having small problems at first, but nothing like this.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you whether you had a boyfriend or not. It's really none of my business. The letter was written maliciously, and the letter to the landlord was also written maliciously. That is Army Housing. I'm awarding you $2,500, and that's against you. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. Thank you, that's all.
Parties are excused.
you.
You may step out. At the back door to your right, please.
I've taken her food. They had no food, anything. I was a good friend to her. I took her to buy the dress she has on now because she doesn't drive.
Oh, you're
I
full
did
of it.
everything for
You
her.
were nowhere
The
near
only
me.
thing I have to say is, from now on, if your big sister warns you about somebody, you should listen to it. She's just jealous. She's very jealous because I get all the attention and she gets none.
And now the next case.
Parties on Crawford versus Sullivan. Step forward, please.
30-year-old personnel director John Crawford says he bailed his friend Shannon Sullivan out of jail and he won't pay him back. Shannon claims he never asked John for his help.
You were arrested for assault. He posted bail.
That's correct.
You won't pay him the money for the bail that he posted for you.
That's correct.
Well, let us start with you, sir,
Okay.
because I found your response, quite frankly, slightly ungrateful. Now, when were you arrested?
On the 24th of November,
What were you arrested for?
assault.
Don't look down there. You probably don't need it, because
Actually,
I'm sure you
okay.
can tell me
It
exactly.
was the 28th of November.
And you were arrested for assaulting whom?
Somebody at a nightclub.
Were you drunk?
Nope.
So that wasn't an excuse.
No.
You just didn't like them.
No, that wasn't the fact either. I was pulling out of the driveway at the nightclub, and this particular individual walked up to my car and kicked it, a brand new car. Myself and another friend got out of the vehicle and walked up to him, and he started a confrontation. I went back to get in the vehicle, and he came in the vehicle after me. He was on top of me inside the vehicle. The police were sitting out front, and they all swarmed in, and they seen it happen.
Well, that sounds like he assaulted you, so why do you think you were arrested?
Because of the injuries on him.
Which were, I assume, substantial?
Yes.
Were you convicted of that assault,
No, I
ultimately?
wasn't.
Did
The
you go to
case was
trial?
dismissed.
Now, when you were arrested, you were taken to jail,
Yes.
and bail was fixed?
Actually, I was going in for my OR hearing,
What's an OR hearing?
release on my own recognizance.
But you spent the night in jail.
No, I didn't.
You spent any time in jail?
Yes,
Is the reason that you were released from jail because this gentleman posted bail?
that's correct.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Forget the bail. Why didn't you say that?
Well, I didn't think of that at the time in the bill.
Well, you should have thought about it at the time, Mr. Sullivan.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 30-year-old personnel director John Crawford says he bailed his friend Shannon Sullivan out of jail and he won't pay him back. Shannon claims he never asked John for his help.
How long did you know him before you posted this bail?
Not very long, just a couple of weeks.
And would you tell me how it came about that you posted the bail for him?
I happened to be walking out of the nightclub right as this incident started, and I witnessed it. And I saw the police take him away. I received a phone call at early hours in the morning from the friend that was with him, and he said, Shannon is in jail. He wanted me to call you, tell you that he's in jail. This friend said that he told Shannon he could not get him out of jail, and wanted to know if I could do anything to help get him out. He said that Shannon would try to get a hold of me later, which he did. He was able to call me from a desk sergeant's phone.
So he called you from a desk sergeant's phone, and what did he say when he called?
He gave me all the specific information, the case number, told me what he was booked on, told me how much the bail was. I immediately called a bail bondsman. I didn't even think twice about calling a bail bondsman, even though we weren't really good friends. I just felt sorry for him. I didn't want anyone to have to spend Thanksgiving Day in jail when he was planning on going to see his family in Arizona the next day. So I placed bail for him. And
how much did that cost you?
well, bail was $5,000. They charged 20% of that for fees, and then there's filing fees, so it was $760.
And did you have a discussion with him about paying you back?
He wrote me a thank you note, said, I can't believe you did that for me. Don't worry, I won't let you down. I felt sorry for him because he said that he needed money, and I actually knew of some work that was opening up where I work, and so I gave his name to some people at work. He was hired at work, worked there just a short time, and after he stopped working where I work, he stopped returning all phone calls. I tried calling several times.
All right, Mr. Crawford. Now, Mr. Sullivan, $760 is what this gentleman spent on your behalf. Now, you want to try to explain to me why you don't think you owe him this money.
First of all, I knew I was going to an OR hearing and I was going to be released, okay? When I went up to the judge for my OR hearing, she said that you were just released on a $5,000 bond. I did not know who did. I didn't contact anybody. I never contacted my family or anything. Nobody even knew about it except for Paul, which was my friend. I never requested John to bail me out whatsoever. John did it on his own. That was his own thing. He did it.
Yeah, I'd spend that much money just to be nice.
Okay.
So why didn't you just tell the judge,
first,
I'm not accepting this bail, and I'm prepared to hear whatever you have to say, and I'll plead my own case to be released on my own recognizance without any consideration of this bail, so forget the bail. Why didn't you say that?
Well, I didn't think about it at the time in the bail.
Well, you should have thought about it at the time, Mr. Sullivan. You were more than happy at the moment to say, thank you very much. Where's my hat?
Bye-bye.
He wasn't arrested. You were arrested. Sounds to me
Right.
like he was a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy for doing that. But I think there's
assume
more
you
to it than just being a nice guy also. I
Like
think
what?
at the time he had something for me or an infatuation for me, and he thought he could get on the good side of me by posting the $5,000 bail.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah, it was too nice actually.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
You had an option, sir. Your option was to say to the judge, who posted the bail for me? Question. Answer, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Crawford.
I did ask that.
You did ask.
They did not have that at the time because the bondsman had not delivered everything over to the
Well,
court
if the
yet.
bondsman hadn't delivered everything over, Mr. Sullivan, they wouldn't have released
That's
you.
what I was told.
They
I didn't
wouldn't
get out
have
till 2
released
hours
you if
later.
the bondsman had not delivered all the paperwork. I've been around long enough to know that.
Okay. I'm just telling you
All
what I
right, this is
know.
not a very difficult case. You owe him $760.
Okay.
Period. End of discussion. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Ju-
Now, this is case number 301 on the calendar in the matter of Peraza versus Barraza. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am. Ma'am.
You two gals are real good friends. You went to some sort of an event, which you're going to tell me about. One of the things that happened at that event was that there was a door prize of a brand new Jeep automobile. Right?
Correct. Yes.
She won, you think that you should get half. Right?
No. Not exactly.
Well,
I think we both won.
you think you both won, and she claimed the prize.
Yeah, she ended up going behind my back and claiming the prize.
All right, let's start from the beginning. What kind of an event was this?
It was just an event from a radio station and Taco Bell. It was just a concert.
Slowly.
It was just a concert. It was just a a concert where these rappers are going to be there or something like that.
You, according to your complaint, got the concert tickets and asked her if she wanted to go.
No, she got the concert tickets.
She got the tickets.
Yeah, and she asked me if I wanted to go.
Okay.
And I agreed, and we went, and at the door, they asked us if we wanted to gamble, and we said yes, and they gave us $500 fake dollars each.
Did you have to pay for that?
No. No, they just asked us at the front, if you wanted to gamble, you got 500. If you didn't, well, you didn't gamble.
So it was like Monopoly money.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
And after that, she asked me, I mean, I was there with her the whole time, but then she asked me if she could gamble my money, and I said, sure, go ahead, you know. She's like,
You weren't gambling?
No, I was just standing right there, just helping her out. That was about it. She gambled, she got all my money, she gambled it away, and we ended up getting chips for, just chips, regular chips that you gamble with, and when you were gambling. So we had to trade those in for tickets. And after that, some guys just came up to us and told us that, oh, they were leaving, they were in a rush, so they came over and they gave us their tickets. They said, here, girls, good luck, and if you guys win, give us a call.
So now you had these whole bunch of tickets, and you threw them in a pot.
We just, yeah. That
Who
was,
held on to the stubs?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was, she had it in my backpack, so she put it in the backpack. We had a backpack, it was only one, so she put them in there.
And you had a whole bunch of them. How many did you have?
There was probably 50 or probably more. I wouldn't know. We didn't count them. And we just threw them inside the backpack, and it was time for them to call out the tickets. The time came, so we went down there, and they started calling out tickets. We won other prizes. Prior to that, we won something else, and it was time to call out.
What else did you win?
We won a jacket and a backpack. And
what'd you do with that?
one of us kept the backpack, and the other one kept the jacket.
Is that right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I guess the time came to win the thing, and we just got the tickets, and she's like, here, you take half, because there was so many of them. We just split them up. She said, you take half, I'll take the other half. And
to look at the numbers
them,
as they were calling the numbers.
Yeah, so then after that, they called the number. That was about it. They called
And
it.
you had the ticket. You were holding that ticket.
Yeah, she was holding the ticket.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question. I'll ask you this question. There came a time when you did split up these tickets, right? She held half and you held half. Tell me about that moment.
As I recall, we just split them up.
Not we
evenly.
split them up. They're in your hands.
Okay, I split them up evenly.
You split them up evenly?
Yes, I just gave her half, and we both looked at them.
Okay. Am I correct that your reason that was done was because it's too difficult to look at all the numbers as they're calling out the numbers, like in a bingo or something,
Yes.
so that each one of you was looking through half,
Correct.
right? And your ticket won.
Yeah, they were my tickets. They were all my tickets.
Now, why do you think they were all your tickets?
Because she had given me her $500. I did not ask her if I can play with her $500. She gave them to me. She gave the $500 to me.
How did that come about?
She said, here, take my money. You can gamble with it.
Is that what you said?
No.
No, that's not what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
No, we were gambling. She ended up, she was like down to her last $50, and she just said, can I, let me have your money. And she said, if we would win the Jeep, we would split it up.
I had said that from the guys' tickets. I had the guys' tickets in one hand, and I had my tickets in the other hand. The ones that I had won.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. All the tickets were together in your backpack at one
No.
point. Oh, I
Yes,
think that they
at
probably
one point-
were.
at
All
one
the
point we put
tickets
them all
were together
together.
in your backpack.
At one point, I had put them all together, yes.
So at that point, they were all mixed together.
Yes.
Yours and the guys.
Yes.
Right. So there really is no way of knowing whether it was your ticket that won or the guy's ticket that won.
Exactly.
Well, now at least we got that straight. So it's not in one hand and then the other hand.
But I had told her, out of their tickets that they gave us, actually they gave me the tickets, and I told her out of those tickets, if we win it, we'll split it, because we were friends.
You couldn't tell whether it was their ticket that won.
No, we could not.
You just assumed it was comfortable for you to say it wasn't one of their tickets that won, it was my ticket that won.
I did not say that.
You had no way of knowing whether it was your ticket that won or one of the guys' tickets that won. Right?
Exactly.
Hello?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You speak to this pain in the neck, and a 12-year friendship is down the drain over a Jeep.
And later today,
He had stolen my daughter's clothes before. I also have sex letters where he signed up for sex calls. And I have pictures to prove what kind of person he is.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 19-year-old Myra Barraza is suing her former best friend Tina Barraza after they won a new Jeep in a raffle.
I see that you have a tape there. Can you tell me what that tape is of?
This is just the day of the event. Recorded us where we both claimed the prize. We both did go up there and claim the prize. And
For the
said,
Jeep?
Yes.
I want to see it.
Here we go. 607 487. You got it? All right, girl. Who's going home with it? Who won the Jeep?
Well, that certainly looks as if, at least at that moment, there was a mutuality that each of you won that prize. So what happened?
I was willing to split with her.
So?
And that's what we were going to do until about a month later. She had called me up and she had said that she wanted to give it to me. She said, go ahead and have it, in other words.
Where was it?
I hadn't got it yet.
Did you do that?
No, I called her up. There was all this stuff was going on with the Jeep. We didn't know what we were going to do. It was a big old thing about it. We didn't know how we were going to split it up, who was going to pay for tax and license and everything. And we were going to get the confirmation letter. And I called her up and I told her, yes, you could stay with the Jeep. But she had said if she stood with the Jeep, she was going to give me an $8,000 loan. That's how much the car was worth, $16,000.
I did not state that.
And I told her, okay. She said she was going to tell her dad, sell her other car that she had just bought, sell it back, and instead of paying $15,000, she'll just tell her dad to get an $8,000 loan and pay me for it. And I said, okay. We agreed. I never thought anything. I just said, okay. It was just a verbal thing, but I did tell her, okay, you could keep the Jeep, and
that sounds reasonable because you can't split up the Jeep.
Yeah, and I just said, okay. And I said, you could pay my $8,000, or else we're just going to sell the Jeep, and we're both going to get our half.
She did not say that on the phone. She told me that she wanted me to keep the Jeep. That's what she told me.
What? Of course, that's what she said to you.
Yeah, but she did not specify that she wanted me to give her $8,000.
Well, why would she make you a gift of $8,000? If the Jeep is worth $16,000, why in the world do you think, madam, that she would make you a gift of $8,000, which is half of the Jeep? Why?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, let's go slowly. What word didn't you understand? Why do you think that she would make you a present of $8,000?
She did not say anything about $8,000. I did not hear anything about $8,000 on that telephone call. At that time, I was like happy. I was happy that she'd given it to me. And I figured that
what are you doing standing up here?
I want to step in for the spot where she called her. She told me through everything that happened. She called me every time they had a conversation. She was asking me, what should I do? What should I do? What do I do about the Jeep? Do I split it in half? Should I sell it? What? I told her, you know what? You won the tickets to that concert. It's your Jeep. You were holding the ticket at the time she won it.
Oh, you're the troublemaker. Sit down. Sit down.
As I was saying, I figured the reason why she said that on the telephone is because she knew that she did not have any part in the ticket winning.
Oh, please, madam. I want to tell you something. I think that your conduct was really outrageous to bring it to this point. First of all, the two of you have been friends. There isn't a question in my mind. What?
9 years.
12 years.
There isn't a question in my mind, after looking at that tape, that at the time that Jeep was won, the two of you, both of you, I saw her signing papers.
We didn't sign any
Just a
paper.
second.
It was just a back of a flyer. We put down both our names and addresses.
Right. It was the back of a flyer. You both put down your names and addresses as the winners. Right?
Yes.
That's what it looked like to me on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometime you speak to this pain in the neck who says to you, I don't think you have to split it with her at all because it was your ticket, it was in your hand. And a 12-year friendship is down the drain over a Jeep because there is no logical reason that I can think of except if you're drinking too much to think that this lady would call you up and say, I just want to give it to you because you're a very nice person. I care about you.
No.
Please.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
That's called the Soddy principle, S-O-D-D-I. Some other dude did it.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Myra Peraza and her former best friend, Tina Peraza, won a new Jeep in a raffle. But Myra says Tina is refusing to share.
Listen to me. Bottom line is, the maximum jurisdiction in this court is $5,000.
I know.
You understand that?
Yeah, I know.
Right? Now, she claimed this prize. I assume you went and claimed the prize.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Correct. She told me to do what's right, and that's what I thought was right.
Yeah, she just went off this one day. I spoken to her the weekend before she did this. I spoken to her the whole week when she went off to the radio station and had a cashier's check with her parents. And she did this on Friday. I spoke to her Friday and Saturday. She told me nothing. I told her what's going on. She said nothing. I haven't spoken to them. I haven't heard of anything.
Miss Peraza, your friendship's over.
I know that.
And based upon what I've heard, that's probably the right thing to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Because she's not a very trustworthy person. Now, she claimed the Jeep. She's going to have to pay the taxes on it. But I'm awarding you $5,000, which is the maximum that I can. My grandmother used to say, if you do the right thing happens. If you do the wrong thing, eventually it's going to catch up with you. What you did was pretty sneaky. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Hey, you got your Jeep. She got her money.
Up the back door to your right, please.
Just to reiterate what Judge Judy said, bad things, it all comes back to people or whatever. It's going to come back to her because I did what I thought was right, and in God I trust that I do what's right, and I think it's going to come back to her what she did because she was wrong, not me. She's lucky for even being there. She's lucky for even being at the event. I don't see that she deserves half. I won the tickets to go to the event, and she was even lucky that I took her.
You got your $5,000
Yeah,
you wanted.
I did.
So now you can shut up.
Yeah, you too.
You had nothing to do with this.
And now the next case.
Parties on Anderson versus Rankin. Step forward, please.
Margaret Anderson is suing her tenant, Tim Rankin, claiming he made phone calls to 900 numbers totaling more than $1,000.
All right, Mr. Rankin. You rented a room from the plaintiff.
That's correct.
And I believe that you will agree, based upon what doesn't seem to be in dispute, that when you moved in, you wanted a telephone in your room.
That's correct, Your Honor.
But because of prior problems, you couldn't get the phone in your name.
She offered to put the phone...
Because of prior problems, you couldn't get the phone in your name.
I owed a past due bill on the Pacific bill.
So the answer to my question is yes. You couldn't get the phone in your name.
Correct.
I knew we'd get there, Bird.
Take your time, George.
So she said, okay.
Yes.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
I could tell you were nervous. She said, okay, you put the phone in your room, and within a relatively short period of time, you got a bill.
Yep.
And how much was that bill for?
$1,059.
For a 1 month period?
2 months period.
2 months. And you say I didn't do it.
I didn't do it, Your Honor.
Is the phone in your room?
Yes, it is.
You think she did it?
I doubt it.
Look at this lady. Look, I just want you to look at her. You think she went into your room and made the calls?
I doubt it.
Somebody's got to pay the bill.
That's right.
Now, you want to try to explain to me in 100 words or less why it shouldn't be you?
In 100 words or less, I don't know if I can do it in 100 words or less, but I believe that the other tenant that was living there made those phone calls.
So?
And there's a reason behind why I think he made those phone calls.
I'll hear you.
Okay, well, the former tenant and her had a limousine business. She put up $27,000 for a limousine. Somehow I was drawn into the middle of that. Their business relationship didn't work out from the get-go. They were screaming and yelling every night there. And because I didn't take his side in the limousine business, he started to have an attitude against me. Eventually I had to throw him in jail for assault on me at the lady's house. The following day, her and I went down and put restraining orders on him. At that point, I believe he went in my room. He wanted me out of that house no matter what. No matter what the cost, so he could work on her by himself. I believe that he went into my room and made a bunch of phone calls, information phone calls. I'm not sure what exactly they were. Psychic, maybe, I don't know what kind of phone calls they were.
Psychic hotline calls? Is that what they were?
900. Sex calls.
Sex calls.
Sex calls. Okay.
Okay. So that's your defense. You know, we used to call that, when I was sitting judge in Manhattan, somebody once told me that that's called the Soddy principle, S-O-D-D-I. Some other dude
done it.
did it. Did you ever hear that?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Rankin, let's keep this simple, sir. Somebody's got to pay this bill. The phone is in your room. If the phone had been in your room and been in your name, you would have had to have paid the phone bill. And then if you felt that somebody in an unauthorized fashion used your phone, you would go and sue them. Right?
That's correct.
But you don't say to the telephone company, listen, Ma Belle, I didn't make the phone calls from my phone. Somebody else did it. You pay the bill, and then you pursue whatever other remedies you have. You are responsible to safeguard the phone in your room. Not her. She was doing you a favor. Why should she be out $1,059? Is there any reason?
No, there's not a reason
Good!
she should be out.
Judgment in the case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,059.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right, please.
Judge Judy continues.
This is case number 312 on the calendar in the matter of Van versus Webb. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am. Sir.
Mr. Van?
Yes, ma'am.
Your complaint alleges that the defendant assaulted you by punching you in the mouth?
Correct.
Something that he acknowledges he did.
Yes, ma'am.
So why don't you tell me how this came about?
Okay. On 4th of July, my brother, his friend, Mr. Rohr, and I were skating northbound on a bicycle path heading towards Manhattan Beach Pier. When we reached the
rollerblading.
Yes, rollerblading. And as we reached the 2600 section of the Strand, the Hermosa Beach Police Department were breaking up a party, and so it became very congested, and they rerouted the direction of the people that were on the path heading north to head back south again. So at that time, we complied with the police officers, and we started to head south.
So they were making him make a U-turn?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so it came to a standstill. And so a person behind me had a bicycle, and they accidentally tripped me, and I accidentally fell on top of the Webb's baby stroller. As soon as I fell on top of the...
Okay, so you were walking with your wife.
Correct.
And you had your baby in the stroller.
We had baby in a baby jogger.
What's a baby jogger?
It's like a stroller, a little bit different, designed for really running with the child.
One of those long pointy things that
Exactly.
I've seen? Okay. So it's got 3 wheels?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Go.
As soon as I fell on top of the baby stroller accidentally, Mr. Webb immediately pulled me off the stroller, and before I had an opportunity to apologize to him, he became belligerent and started yelling and screaming at me and using profanity. And so since he refused to listen to me, I raised my tone of voice to the level of his and said, "What the hell are you talking about? It was an accident," because he even had the audacity to accuse me of deliberately endangering his child. And the whole time that he
Your
was...
Honor.
Could get to you.
You know, during this whole time, he was more interested in...
Don't tell me what he was
okay.
interested in.
He
Just
was-
tell me what he said to you and what you said to him.
Well, I can't recall everything that he said to me. You know, just that he was screaming, yelling, and he was using profanity at me. And he deliberately accused me of endangering his child by falling on top of the baby stroller.
Okay.
So after we exchanged words, I then attempted to proceed to leave. And at that point in time, Mrs. Webb then confronted me, and she started to do the same thing to her husband.
Just tell me what she said.
Oh, I can't recall the exact words, Your Honor, so I don't want to guess at it. But she, too, was, you know, yelling, screaming, using profanity against me. And at that point in time, I became upset, and I told her that she was an unreasonable for not allowing me an opportunity to apologize or to look at the situation, that it was accidental and I had no intentions of hurting their child. So
You didn't say all that. You just called her an unreasonable beep.
Exactly.
Okay.
So at that time, I attempted to leave again, and after I left, Mr. Webb then pursued me and cut me off from leaving, and he attempted to pick a fight with me. He was yelling at me, saying that I cannot call his wife a So I wouldn't allow myself to get in an altercation with him because there was no reason. It wasn't for self-defense. In addition to that, there were several police officers behind us. So he then placed his right hand on my chest, on my left side of the chest, attempting to further provoke me to a fight. And I still refused to engage in a fight. So
Your Honor, that's...
So I then warned Mr. Webb several times to remove his hand from my chest. And when he didn't do it immediately, so that's why I had to do it several times. When he finally removed his hand from his chest, as soon as he put his hand down, he then attacked me and punched me in the mouth. Immediately, his hand came down. And that's when I fell backwards, hitting my head on the ground. And when I tried to get back to my feet again, I got onto my knees. Then Mr. Webb then jumped on top of my back and in a deranged manner was yelling, "You can't call my wife." And he kept on pushing my head towards the ground while he was on top of me. Afterwards, my brother intervened, and then a police officer came by, and when I realized that I was injured from the bleeding...
Where were you bleeding from?
From my lip. My lip became lacerated from the punch, and I then charged Mr. Webb with citizen's arrest and told a police officer who was standing close by of my charge.
Okay. You had some medical bills?
Yes, ma'am.
What were the medical bills?
The medical bills were for the oral surgery, for my tooth to be put a crown put on it, and the actual crown price.
How much?
That came out to, excuse me, and also the emergency room bills as well. And that came out to approximately $901. And in addition to that, my one tooth was shattered, another tooth is cracked, and that tooth has not died yet. So the dentist wants to wait until the tooth does die, and so I have an estimate of that, which is $1,275.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Teach children from a very early age to use their words. Say that to toddlers. Use your words, don't use your fists. And you didn't. You didn't because you got hot.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Norm Van says after bumping into Henderson Webb's baby stroller while rollerblading, Mr. Webb assaulted him, causing dental injuries. Mr. Webb claims he hit Norm in self-defense.
All right, Mr. Webb. Now let's hear your version of what happened, sir.
Okay. I think that was a very creative version that you just heard.
Mr. Webb, let me hear your version of what happened,
My wife
sir.
and I left 4th of July midday to walk down the Strand with our daughter Haley in the baby jogger. When we approached the 26th Street intersection, there was a huge crowd that you're just kind of instantly enveloped in. Virtually nobody was moving, maybe at just a very small shuffle, people going every which direction. I was going northbound on the Strand with the stroller at a little bit of an angle there, when kind of out of my peripheral vision I saw some movement, and before anything else I felt a strong hit against me and down on the jogger. And that was Norm Van. I looked down, he was full body, full weight, impacted upon the jogger. I started trying to help him up, and I said something to the nature of, you know, get up, get off, watch where you're going. He was immediately very indignant with me as far as profanities. I learned some that day. He got off on me and said a lot of things in my face about I'm a effing this, don't touch me, it's not my fault, get your hands off of me, etc. But it was one of those things. I was terrified, obviously. My wife was more petrified than I was. At that point, I looked under the baby jogger has a canopy on it. Haley was crying and bawling. Wasn't really the place to get her out and find out how she was. Stepped back behind the jogger.
But she was fine.
She didn't have any visible damage.
She was fine.
Correct. Stepped back behind the jogger to resume our snail's pace, so to speak. My wife's still behind me when the next thing I heard was him going off on twice the tirade with my wife. And, you know, at a distance of like that from her face. He called her B-I-T-C-H, but that was the nicest word he called her. You know, we all felt threatened, I think. We had no place to go. We were in a very small space. I kind of put my hand between them. I never once touched Norm Van until I actually hit him. I kind of stepped in front of my wife and in front of Norm Van, so that they were behind me. And he continued to be very threatening, very belligerent, indignant, coming at me this way. I thought for sure he was going to attack me. I've got my wife and child behind me, and I did hit him in the mouth. He never hit the ground, number one. He kind of squatted or kneeled. I got behind him and put my arms around him and locked my hands to contain him. I never tried to hit his head on the cement. I did I hit him once, and that's all that happened. Okay? Held him, contained him. He started screaming, "I'm going to sue you, citizen's arrest." I took a few steps back, and then he started coming at me again. And I said to him 3 or 4 times, "Stay away, stay back." I couldn't understand why he was stepping towards me again. He was pointing his finger saying, "I want you to get arrested, you're in trouble," and I said, "Stay away," because I didn't know why he was coming at me again. I thought he could attack me.
What do you mean you didn't know why, sir? You would hit him in the mouth.
Well, I figured he was going to attack me.
You know, what you figured.
Right, I felt threatened by him.
You hit him in the mouth.
Yes, I did.
Mr. Webb, you know, I've walked many a stroller, and I've had footballs come into the stroller, and people, it's other times, you know, throwing a can out of a car that almost misses the stroller by that much. You know, has that ever happened to you, Bert?
Sure, Judge. 4 kids.
Yeah? So you know what you want to do to the person who threw their soda can out of a window that almost hits your baby? You want to kill him. That's the immediate reaction.
I agree, but I think that's a little different circumstances than we faced.
Well, I'm not so sure, Mr. Webb. What I'm talking about is the maternal or paternal instinct when something, anything, threatens your child. The adrenaline starts to pump. And you don't want to hear anything about accident, because those kind of accidents aren't supposed to happen. I mean, when you say to me, "I tried to help him off the carriage."
Absolutely.
Well, you weren't helping him. You were getting him off there as fast as you could so you could check on your baby. You just wanted to get him off. If you could have used a stick of TNT, it wouldn't have made any difference whether he was okay or not. You wanted to get a look and see whether your baby was hurt. Mr. Webb, that's totally understandable, sir.
Well, I was understanding enough to realize once he was up that could be over. That's why I stepped behind the baby jogger again to proceed at whatever pace I could to get away from Mr. Van.
But he didn't hit you, you hit him.
Correct. I hit him because I had no place to go, and he was posing immediate threat to my wife and my child.
No, I don't think so, sir. He was using his words. You lost your temper. You got angry because he said something to your wife, and there's no question in my mind that if I called your wife up here, she would say that she didn't say anything to him. Is that right? Did you say anything to him?
Oh, yeah, I asked him to, you know, just move away and get away from the stroller, because after the confrontation had happened, between my husband and Mr. Van, he didn't just go on his way. He was, I mean, this far away from both of our faces, just telling us that, you know, it's not his fault, and, you know, F this and F that. And
well, let me ask you a question. Did either of you say to him, I know it was an accident, just as that everything's okay now?
I said, move on. Let's forget about this. It's over. And that's why I tried to go northbound. He was engaging my wife at that time.
Had your wife said anything to him before he was engaging you? Did you say to him, no? I don't necessarily believe that, Miss Webb. I mean, I don't say that because it's not common sense. You're a mother, your baby's in the stroller, I can imagine you broke out in an immediate sweat when you saw this body, this huge body over your baby. And you're trying to tell me, trying to stand there and tell me that you were behaving in a calm...
No, we're not. We were both petrified, as our statements will both say.
Mr. Webb, unfortunately, we don't have candid cameras all around the place so that you can view what your reaction was when he fell on your baby.
Right.
Because what you're suggesting to me is your actions were wholly appropriate and consistent with a very moderate tone and a very moderate reaction to an accident. And I guarantee you, sir, it belies common sense to suggest that you were that kind of calm. And your wife was that kind of calm. Okay. So you hit him. You got to pay for his damage. No question about that.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
That's pathetic that you would even lie right here.
No, it's pathetic that you would even lie about lying.
I think it's pathetic that you didn't protect your brother.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rollerblader Norm Van says Henderson Webb assaulted him after bumping into his baby stroller. Mr. Webb says he hit him in self-defense.
Now, I want you to look at these things, sir.
Your Honor, can I make one last quick statement?
Sure.
The fact that the police officers did not arrest me or do anything but take a report, combined with the fact that the first communication I got from Mr. Norm Van was via a lawyer named Daniel Lieb, led me to believe that there wasn't a lot of belief from the standpoint of the police officers that this was something they wanted to pursue, and that it was something that Norm Van merely wanted to get money out of from a precarious situation. And that's why I received a letter asking if I had a certain type of insurance to find out how much, coverage or what kind of a plaintiff's win they could get out of this.
Well, Mr. Webb, let me address your first question first, sir. The fact that the police took the information with regard to this case and decided that they weren't going to, at that moment, separate you from your wife and your baby, placing you in handcuffs and taking you off to the pokey, showed good judgment on the part of the police. I mean, they clearly understood that there had been an accident that could have been dangerous, that you overreacted to that, but that didn't rise to the level of somebody who was a dangerous person walking around the street. Certainly, unless somebody else fell on your baby carriage, this wasn't going to happen again. So the police exercised good judgment. They do not necessarily have to arrest everyone. To address your second point, if you got a letter from a lawyer that says, what kind of coverage do you have, because he wants to be reimbursed for whatever his out-of-pocket medical expenses were as a result of you punching him in the mouth, I think that that's wholly appropriate.
Why wouldn't you go to small claims court right off the bat instead of trying to find out how much money he could possibly take advantage of?
Why would he want to do that? People aren't supposed to abuse the court system if they can resolve things without going to court. If they can resolve things without going to court, why would you want to spend a day in court, have to go down there, maybe spend 2 days? Why would you want to do that? That's wholly appropriate, sir. People encourage that. That's why we have mediation services that are blossoming throughout this country to relieve an overburdened court system with cases that really shouldn't be in court. People accepting responsibility for things that they do and saying, all right, I'll pay what I can. I don't find anything inappropriate about that. Now, Mr. Van,
yes, ma'am.
I want you to look at these bills that you've just presented to me, and I want you to tell me exactly what your out-of-pocket expenses were, sir, that were not covered by insurance. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am. That's $901.35.
Okay, because the rest was covered by your insurance.
Correct.
Okay.
In addition to that is the estimate to do the additional work from my other tooth, which is injured but hasn't died yet, which is $1,275.
And that was a result of this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Van, see, so far I've given it to these people because I think that Mr. Webb was wrong to punch you in the face. And I believe that what happened with the baby was an accident. Right? you also seem like, you know, the kind of guy who should understand that they were really upset. Do you have
Yes.
children?
No, ma'am.
Well, if you have children, you'll come to understand that something happens to a baby of yours. All of those protective juices start to flow. So the fact that Mrs. Webb, and I do believe she opened up her mouth to you, it was probably not the right thing to do to respond to it the way you did. Verbally. You could have just kept walking away from her and just ignored her. Because she was hot, because her baby was, for that moment, at risk. Do you understand?
Agreed.
You gotta use your noodle.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Mr. Webb, you behaved unreasonably because you hit him. You can walk around that every which way, but you behaved wrongly because we teach children from a very early age to use their words. You say that to toddlers. Use your words, don't use your fists, don't be physical, use your words. And you didn't. You didn't because you got hot. And I understand why you got hot, but you gotta pay for it. All right? Your total expenses come to about $2,200.
That's correct.
A little bit less, but it's about $2,200, and you're suing the defendant for $3,000.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you're entitled to that. Judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
223 on the calendar in the matter of Hutnick versus Reese. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies.
Ladies, quite frankly, I was appalled when I read your papers. To think that two women in front of their children would engage in this kind of conduct is absolutely unbelievable to me. Ms. Hutnick, according to your complaint, you were assaulted by the defendant in McDonald's.
Yes, I was.
She says that you assaulted her. This was all done in front of your children.
Yes, it was. Birthday party.
So you want to tell me your version of the events, please?
I had dropped my daughter off, Melissa, at a birthday party and went back to pick her up about 45 minutes later. And as I was walking in, I noticed this person next to me.
The defendant?
Yes, Connie Reese. She was hovering over top of my daughter, who was on the bottom of a playland. It was a playland area inside the McDonald's. And my daughter was sitting on the bottom of the slide, and she was crying. And
So there were slides and tubes. I've
Yes.
seen those things where the kids go in and play. They take off their shoes and they
Right.
go inside and they play.
Yes.
And eat at the same time.
Right, run and eat. And I walked up to the slide and I asked Connie Reese if there was a problem, whom she was not part of the birthday party. I did not know who she was at the time. And she said, well, your daughter and her friends are up there picking on my daughter and won't let her down. And I looked at my daughter and she was very upset. She was crying, she was hysterical. I said, Melissa, is this true? And she said, no, Mom. She said, we were all up there playing together. I accidentally stepped on the girl's toe. She said, I told her I was sorry. Mom, honest, I did. I said, well, you know, if you did, you've done the right thing. I said, come on, we'll come over here and sit down. I took her by the arm. I guided her to the table where Connie Reese continued to follow me to the table, and she came up to me and she said, is that all you're going to do? And I said, well, you know, she did say it was an accident. She said she was sorry. She'd done the right thing. I said, you know, I don't know what else you expect me to do. And when she said she was sorry, she'd done the right thing, I said, you know, I don't know what else you expect me to do. And with that, I guided my daughter again by the arm, went to another table to sit down. Connie Reese came up to me again, and she put her face, her nose, right up against my nose, touching my nose. Out of the corner of my eyes, I could see Melissa and 3 of her friends underneath the table. They were crying and screaming, and nothing was said at that time, and I thought, you know, I'm not going to fight this lady in front of these girls. So I walked away a second time. She came up to me, and she starts yelling from behind my back, and she says, you know, it's parents like you today who don't know how to raise their kids that makes these kids the way they are today. I stopped, I turned around, I said, you know, I'm sorry. I said, I don't know what your problem is. I said, this obviously is not affecting your daughter. She is up there playing. My daughter's down here crying. You know, and with that, I walked away. I had my back to her. She grabbed me by the back of my hair, turned my head completely around, my body still facing forward, and punched me. She knocked me out. When I had come to...
Punched you in the face?
She punched me in the face. When I had come to, she had dragged me 20, 25 feet across the playland. With my head, if I may show you, she had my head in between her legs like a scissor lock, pounding on the back of my head. And I said, you know, what is your problem? Get off me. I said, you know I am pregnant.
And at that time, one of the ladies at the birthday party picked her up and just got her off of me. And with that, she got her coat, she grabbed her daughters, and ran out the door. And somebody had yelled, "Did you get her license number? Did you get her license number?" I ran out and got her license number, came in, and I continued to, I called the police. They came, they issued a warrant out for her arrest. She turned herself in. They did put her on probation for a year. But in the meantime, the next day, I didn't go to the doctors that night. The next morning, I went to get out of bed. I could not raise my head up. I went to the doctors. I did have a concussion. They did an MRI, CAT scan.
Do you have your medical bills, which is part of what you're suing for?
Yes, I do. And there was also a letter from my doctor. About a week and a half later, I did miscarry.
Okay, I'm ready to hear your version of the events.
Well, I went into McDonald's with my daughters, and I was there for about 15 minutes, and I told them to go up to the slide and play while I went to go get the food. And they went to go up to the slide because the food was too hot, and I told them to go on and go up the slide. And my oldest daughter, she's too tall to go in there. She wasn't playing in there. The youngest one, she went to go in there. And we heard like the youngest one, she went to go in there. And we heard like a blood-curdling scream. And I told my oldest daughter to go up there and see what's going on. And she went up there, and she said they wouldn't let her down the slide. They penned her in. They both had, one was on one side, one was on the other, and they wouldn't let her down. And so my daughter proceeded to go down the tubes and not go down the slide, go back around the way she came.
Okay, get to the bottom of the slide. Now that they're at the bottom of the slide.
Okay, they're at the bottom of the slide. Well, I yelled up there, and I was going, let her down, because they wouldn't still let her down. And her daughter had came down, and I said, I asked you to come down. Why didn't you come down when she was screaming that loud? And she puts her hand on like this. She was not sitting on the slide. She was standing up talking to me like this. I wasn't hemming her in. She could have got down any way she wanted to get down, just like that. And then she came in, and with her, biker stuff on, she was like coming towards me like she was going to kill me. And she didn't get a chance to even hear what I had to say. I was going to tell her
Don't tell me what you were going to tell her. Just tell me what happened.
She didn't come to talk to me first. She talked to her daughter. And I said that I tried to get your daughter to come down the slide, and she wouldn't come down the slide. And she got smart with me, and she turned around and she smacked me.
Oh,
and when she smacked me, she scratched me. She had these nails that were like real long, curly nails. And she had these nails that were like real long, curly nails. And she smacked me. She smacked my face and dug into my face, and I turned around about 3 steps where there was people. Where the slide is, there's no people, so nobody can see you. You got to go like
So you're saying she assaulted you?
Right. She smacked me first.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I didn't talk to no lawyer or nothing. I didn't have nobody.
You swore that you spoke to a lawyer from the hospital. Is this a lie? Is this a lie?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Marty Hutnick is suing Connie Reese for putting her in a headlock and punching her face. She wants her medical bills paid.
So you're saying she assaulted you?
Right. She smacked me first.
And then what did you do?
I turned around, I walked up to her and I said, no wonder why mothers are the way they are. The way the kids are today is because mothers like you. And I smacked her back in the face because she smacked me. And then I proceeded to walk away, and she grabbed me by my ponytail and scratched the back of my neck. And she's the one that was dragging me. I didn't have her in no head knock or anything like that. She had me by my hair, and she was dragging me. And we were both, I told her to let go, and we both let go, and she came back right after me after I told her to let go. She come right back after me, and I told her friend, when her friend came charging after me, because it was a birthday party, and she had 2 friends that were there too, and they come charging after me and smacked me against the garbage can, which made my younger daughter fall, and I sat on her head, and she was sitting down there, and
This is after the other people were taking you off her.
Right. No, they were taking the girls off of me. A boy came in at like 16 years old and got all 3 of the girls off of me because she was screaming down below because she was crunched between the garbage can.
So these are the questions that I have for you, because I read your answer. So these are 2 diametrically opposed stories about what happened.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
First of all, you swore to the truth of what's in this answer.
Right.
So it is true that you pled, in effect, guilty to criminal charges and were placed on probation, correct?
No, it's not correct. I was in the hospital for 30 days. The warrant after I got out of the hospital because I didn't appear to be able to have my side. I went right into the hospital that day.
Miss Reese, let me see.
Into the hospital that day.
Miss Reese, let me see that. First, let me see the hospital record.
I don't have no papers. My attorney's out of town, and I try to get him. My attorney is out of town. He couldn't give me the papers.
Miss Reese, you don't need papers from your attorney to prove to the court that you were in a hospital for a month as a result of this incident. Okay?
Well,
I'm going to read you some. You have what?
I got pills to show that I was in there. I'm still taking them.
Pills don't tell me when you went to the hospital and what you were doing in the hospital for a month. Because I'm going to read what you wrote. First, you say you were admitted to the hospital and stayed there for a month.
That's right.
And then you say that you spoke to your lawyer from the hospital. That's what you said here. But then you say that the reason that you didn't appear in court was because you were in the hospital and nobody told you about it. Because you were served with papers while you were in the hospital. That doesn't ring true to my common sense. Because if you had already spoken to a lawyer when you were in the hospital, you would have known about a summons or a warrant being issued for your arrest. So you already had a lawyer, according to you, when you were in the hospital. Is that right? It's what you swore to here.
Not in the hospital. At 2 weeks after I got out of the hospital, I was.
No, that's not what you wrote here. That's not what you.
I want to tell you, I got out of the hospital 2 weeks later, and
so
then
it's just a second. So you weren't in the hospital for a month. You were in the hospital for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and then I was in therapy for 2 weeks.
So now, right now, you have 2 mistakes here in your sworn answer. You weren't in the hospital for a month. You were in the hospital for 2 weeks, and you spoke to the lawyer.
30 days.
What?
It's still 30 days. I was in the hospital. I was in there, admitted from morning till almost night every day for seizures. I'm
Miss
serious.
Reese, you were in the hospital now, according to you, for 2 weeks.
Right.
And according to you, you didn't speak to the lawyer from the hospital, even though that's what you wrote here. Because then you write.
Because I didn't have nobody. I didn't talk to no lawyer or nothing. I didn't have nobody.
You swore that you spoke to a lawyer from the hospital. Is this a lie?
Hospital.
Is this a lie?
It must have been a mistake. It's not a lie.
It was a big mistake, but it's very clear. You didn't say I spoke with a lawyer. You said I spoke with a lawyer from the hospital. Then you say, when you were released, you were arrested because you hadn't appeared in court. But that troubled me, because if you had a lawyer that you spoke to in the hospital, then you would have known that you had to appear in court. And then you write that you did go to court. I ended up with a lawyer who told me to plead no contest.
That's right.
And I had no idea what it meant, but I thought I could trust my lawyer.
Well, he wasn't a good lawyer. He ended up being barred from the association. That's why I went to a different attorney.
You know, you have a lot of stories. You have a lot of good answers for everything that I'm saying
I'm
to you.
telling you,
But then you went to court, and you appeared before a judge. And the judge explained to you what your rights were, correct?
That's correct.
Told you that you had a right to a trial, correct?
Correct.
And you said that you didn't want a trial.
No, I did not say I didn't want a trial. He told me just to plead no contest in
The
that
judge
way.
never told you to plead no contest.
No, he didn't tell me. My lawyer told me.
Try to remember what the judge said to you. The judge
He
said to you...
asked me if I understood everything.
And what did you say?
And I told him no.
And you told the judge no, and the judge said, well, that's okay, then I'm going to take your plea anyway. That's what you're telling me a judge said?
No, he explained to me.
Okay. And he explained to you that whatever, either no contest or pleading guilty, it's the same as a guilty plea, and you would be found guilty of these charges. Didn't the judge explain that to you?
Yes, he did.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You've got more stories than Carter has pills today for what you wrote in your answer. I didn't write that. I didn't mean that. I was in a hospital for a month. I have no proof.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Marty Hutnick says Connie Reese assaulted her after their daughters got into a fight at a birthday party.
After the judge explained that to you, you pled to these charges of assault. Isn't that right?
Because that's what my lawyer told me to say.
No.
He did.
No.
Because that's what my lawyer told me to say.
No.
He did.
No.
I don't know nothing about the law. He's the one that told me that.
You knew enough when you were in the hospital, according to the statement, to call a lawyer. Miss Reese.
No, I didn't talk to a lawyer until 2 weeks later, until I got out of the hospital.
It's your statement. I mean, this is so you have no proof to show me today that you were in the hospital, is that right?
I have no proof. I have proof that Olivia was in the hospital, but I don't have no proof that I was in the hospital. But
Olivia was in the hospital for what? That's your daughter?
Because I sat on her neck and put her neck into her all the way down, crunched her arms.
That doesn't tell me about you sat on her neck, but that doesn't tell me about what happened between the two of you. You pled guilty right now. There is a guilty plea. That is guilt beyond between the two of you. You pled guilty right now. There is a guilty plea. That is guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have been found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of assaulting the plaintiff by your own admission. And until that is overturned, until you go back into court, if you plan to, and I don't even know if you can because you were placed on probation, is that right?
I'm off of it, yeah.
You were placed on probation. Then there is no way that you can go back and have your plea expunged. So in 12 months, you didn't go back to court and ask to vacate your plea. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes.
And what did the judge say to you when you went back to court?
He told me to go to civil court.
So the judge refused to allow you to take back your plea. Is that right? The judge refused to allow you...
I wasn't there. My lawyer went there by himself.
Miss Reese, you cannot go back to court and ask to vacate your plea unless you're there. You cannot go back to court and ask to vacate your plea unless you're there. And in that way, you have to explain to the judge that you didn't understand what was going on, you were given bad advice, all those other things. You're coming to me today, and I'll tell you what the posture is of your side of this story. Okay. You pled guilty beyond a reasonable doubt to assault. You were sentenced, and in fact, you fulfilled your sentence because you served 12 months on probation.
My new lawyer is trying to get me off of all that, to remove it.
Your lawyer may try to get you all off of it. Right now, that is the posture in which you stand here today. Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this assault by your own admission. So I have no intention of entertaining your countersuit. All I can do is tell you this. Ms. Hutnick, your lawsuit is requesting your medical bills and a certain amount for pain and suffering in the amount of $1,750. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
When I came out here before, I said to you both that I know what happens sometimes when kids get caught up in these things at playlands, etc. They should never escalate to a physical fight in front of children. That's outrageous.
I went right to the police station right after it happened.
Miss Reese, aren't you hearing what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
You pled guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
I wasn't in the right state of mind.
Well, I don't know whether you were in the right state of mind today, but right now,
today I am.
Right now, you pled guilty beyond a reasonable doubt before a judge who explained all of your rights to you. You've got more stories than Carter has pills today for what you wrote in your answer. I didn't write that. I didn't mean that. I was in a hospital for a month. I have no proof. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I did talk to a lawyer in the hospital. I didn't talk to a lawyer in the hospital. Judgment in the hospital for 2 weeks. I did talk to a lawyer in the hospital. I didn't talk to a lawyer in the hospital. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,750. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy.
Judge, number 230 on the calendar in the matter of Garrett versus Bradford Ullman. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Miss Garrett, this is your granddaughter.
That's correct.
Your name is Bradford?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're her boyfriend?
Yes.
You live together?
Yes.
And you have 2 children?
3.
3 children, but they're not your children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Garrett, you're suing your granddaughter and her boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you rented them a house.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
And you say that A, they did not pay rent.
That's correct.
B, they vandalized your house.
Yes.
And they took property that was yours from the house.
Absolutely.
When did you and why did you rent this house to them?
Well, Misty lived there prior for a year, approximately, prior to a year of her mom moving out.
So originally her mother lived there and she lived with her mother and her 3 children.
Exactly. And then the mother moved out and Misty...
That's your daughter?
My daughter. Misty didn't have any place to go, nor the money to go anyplace else. So I told her I would rent her my house, and I did.
What was the monthly rental?
$466. That covers my mortgage payment.
Now, you admit, Miss Ullman, that you did not make one rental payment.
Yes.
And that's after you say you were served with an eviction notice from your grandmother.
Yes.
So you admit that you owe her that money.
Yes, I do.
There came a time when you decided to evict her.
Yes.
Can you tell me why?
Well, for one thing, they were not paying the rent, which I needed. I'm on a fixed income. I needed the rent money to cover my own expenses. I have enough to take care of my own personal needs, but not that of Misty, her boyfriends, or her children. So I needed the money for that. And the eviction started over the payment. There was also other problems involved during the eviction.
Like what?
Over the children.
What?
I heard verbal abuse from Mr. Bradford with the 3 children. I was very much concerned about that. They were going to ship the young boy off to Alaska to a father that he hardly knew, to people that did not know him. And I was very upset.
Her oldest child they were going to send to the father's house.
In Alaska, because he was causing problems. He does have a behavior problem. But to me, you don't have throwaway children.
How close do you live to them?
I lived about 60 feet in a studio apartment that's on the same property as my big house.
Before you served them with an eviction notice, did you tell them that you wanted them to move out?
Yes, I did.
Are you sure?
I sent them a letter asking them to come to me to work out a payment plan for the rents owed.
How many months' rent did they owe you by the time they left?
She stayed there. They stayed there. May I have a drink of water?
Please.
They stayed there for 3 months. They paid me a total of $580.
Do you have proof of payment of more than $580?
No, I do not. I used money orders and I gave the money orders to my grandma, and then she went to the bank and made the payment.
She says that you gave her a total of $580 during the 3 months that you were living there.
We were there for 3 months, and I did pay the first 2 months. The third month I did not pay.
She says that one of the reasons she started eviction proceedings is because you weren't paying her.
No, that is not true. And
well, then
she's
do you have the
claiming-
receipts to show me 2 payments of $466
No,
each?
Your Honor, I do not.
And are you saying that the total they paid you was $580?
That's correct. And she's also claiming that we owe, or that the rent was $466, which the mortgage payment and the insurance together is, but I was only responsible for $290 of it.
Why?
I didn't pay the insurance. That was not our agreement.
Just a second. Maybe when your mother was living there, it was split differently, but what was your mortgage payment?
$466.02, in fact.
You have proof of that?
Yes,
Joe?
I do.
Can I see it, please?
Your Honor, actually, the payments were $290 as they were when the mother lived there.
No. No. Who said so?
That's exactly how much they were.
She says that you had an understanding that you were going to pay whatever amount it was to cover her mortgage payment.
She's claiming $466, I believe, but that's not true, Your Honor.
Well, I'm going to see whether it's $466. She's going to show me.
The mortgage may, with the insurance may indeed be that, but that doesn't mean that was the agreement to pay that.
Well, why should
In fact-
she? Just a minute. Why should she subsidize you? Where can you find a house for $466?
Well, I don't think that's the issue.
No, just a second. Where can you find a house for $466?
You can find them in Fresno. They're available. The people can scoff if they want that you're in Los Angeles. In Fresno, it's not uncommon to find a house for $450. It may not be palatial, but it'll be something that you can live in. And
Well, was this a nice house?
Yeah, it is a nice house. It's an older house, 70 or 80 years old, and it's very large.
Good. Well, $466 doesn't seem to me outrageous. So do you work?
Ma'am.
Do you work?
Do I work?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
Well, I just got a job as a production supervisor with a poultry company.
What were you doing during the time that you were living with Miss Oman in her grandmother's house?
Well, you mean, was I seeking employment or was I
No, were you working?
No, at that time I wasn't working. I was seeking employment.
Well, who was supporting you?
I received unemployment.
How much?
$400 a month.
And were you working?
No.
Why not?
Well, I have a few things that I'm a recovering addict, alcoholic, and during that time I've been seeking therapy and help for myself and for my kids, and that...
Well, you certainly weren't living on $400 a month that he was getting from unemployment insurance, so you must have been subsidized by the state in some way. Is that right?
Yes.
So you were receiving welfare?
Yes.
How much?
A total of $620 a month.
So you were receiving $620 and he was getting $400. That's $1,000 some odd dollars a month, more than enough to pay Grandma's mortgage.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
While she was involved with drugs, involved with alcohol, she had 2 more illegitimate children with 2 other men. Now, Mr. Bradford, you can understand why her grandmother was slightly frustrated.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lavelle Garrett claims her granddaughter, Misty Oman, and Misty's boyfriend, Tom Bradford, did not pay rent, stole, and damaged her property. Misty says her grandmother is trying to control her.
Now, let's get beyond the mortgage. Let's get to this vandalism. You have photographs of the house?
Yes, I do. It's under the green tag there that you have. I also have the color ones for you if you would like. Those are copies.
I'd like to see the originals, please. One of the things, Miss Garrett, that I'm sort of surprised at, well, I'm not faulting you because, you know, you came prepared for this lawsuit, but that you took such care to prepare this lawsuit when your granddaughter was involved. So my sense is that there's something more to this than just this property damage. Did you have a fight with her about sending this young boy to Alaska?
Yes, I did.
When did you have that fight with her?
It was after the eviction.
No, Your Honor, that's not true. It was prior to the eviction.
Okay, I couldn't be mistaken about that, Your Honor. I'm not sure. I mean, there's been an ongoing argument about this child for a long time because of my concern for his welfare.
Did you ever ask your granddaughter if your grandson could come and live with you?
He did live with me for 1 year. He was in my custody for 1 year. At this time, as we speak, he is living with my daughter.
With his maternal grandmother?
Right.
Is that through the state?
No.
By agreement?
By agreement between Mr. Bradford and Miss Oman.
Well, what does he have to do with it?
You tell me.
Nothing is the answer. I'd like you to look at some of these photographs and tell me whether any of this looks familiar to you.
I'd also like to add, Your Honor, this is a very sad day for me to have my granddaughter in court. I have loved this young lady for 24 years, and this is very, very sad for me to have her in court. But I've had it. I'm up to here with her, the men she's been dragging in and out of her children's life.
Your Honor, I'm trying to be polite and be reserved and be respectful of the court. And, you know, I'm just going to take a chance here and speak out. You know, I'm a good human being. I'm not going to be ashamed of the fact that I'm in between jobs. Many people in America are in between jobs right now. And it's nothing to laugh at or to be ashamed of. And I met Misty some months ago, in March, in fact, and we developed a relationship. And we had a good relationship. In fact, her suitor, Bob Magretta, hired me to do a number of odd jobs for him while I was in between jobs. And in fact, after the eviction, offered me work and offered us a place to stay in one of his apartments that he rents. And we have a letter here stating that, saying you can come and live in one of my apartments and you can continue to have your job. We're not bad people. And I love her children and I love her. And we're planning to have a future together.
Mr. Bradford, let me stop you, sir. I don't doubt certain of the things that you said to me. You don't fall in love with children after 6 months.
I didn't say I fell in love.
Just a second. You said
I love the children.
You say you love her and you love her children. You don't love her children. You don't love her children. You may tolerate 2 of them, certainly. You didn't love the third one. The third one was being sent away thousands of miles away from his siblings because clearly he was not thriving in your home, and he was probably, in all probability, you don't send the child away unless they are particularly troublesome.
He was going for a 4-week vacation, Your Honor, to see the father who she summons down to help with the child within the last few years. If you ask her, she'll tell you.
Just a second. That's not what it says in the answer.
When the doctors at the psychiatric facility recommended that we allow him to try to work out some of the unresolved issues by visiting with his dad.
What do you, Mr. Bradford, what do you think the unresolved issues are, sir?
Well, I'm not a professional in the psychiatric field, but
so you're not a professional, and you've been in this family for 6 months. You've been involved with these 3 children for 6 months. You have 3 children. Were you married once or more than once?
Once.
Once. And the father is, the person who lives in Alaska is the father of all 3 of your children?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. How many children is he the father of?
1.
1. And the other 2 children, do they have the same father?
No, Your Honor.
So I want you to listen to me very carefully, Mr. Bradford. What she said is she's had it up to here with the men that her granddaughter has brought into the lives of her grandchildren. And right now, very simple. I mean, just on its face, Misty acknowledges she had a substance abuse problem. Hopefully she's in recovery. But the bottom line is she has 3 children by 3 different men, only one of whom she was married to. She has a little boy who was clearly suffering as a result of A, his mother's addiction. She was, in all probability, neglectful of the children while she was involved with drugs. That's clear. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out. While she was involved with drugs, involved with alcohol, she had 2 more illegitimate children with 2 other men. Now, Mr. Bradford, you can understand why her grandmother, who has probably been around for all of these tragedies that have gone on for her grandchildren, is slightly frustrated. Well, so don't tell me, sir, that we're good people and I love all these 3 children, because this lady has heard that before.
Well,
you have to understand the frustration.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Am I guessing at the fact that each of her 3 children have 3 different fathers?
No,
Not
you're
guessing
not.
at that. And I'm not guessing at the fact, sir, that you don't know one thing that went on in this family from your own personal knowledge for the last 10 years.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Airline technician Lavelle Garrett says her granddaughter, Misty Oman, and her boyfriend, Tom Bradford, owe her for back rent and damaged property. Misty says it all started when she sent her son away.
Now all I want you to do is look at those photographs and you tell me whether any of that damage to her property looks familiar. Just look at it.
There are some things that I am responsible for, but
Like
some
what?
of this, for example, the broken portable closet, no. The screen.
What are you responsible for?
The screen right here, the cat potty.
The what?
The feces, the cat feces that they left in my bathroom floor, plus cat litter in my kitchen with cigarette butts and cat feces in it. The pictures are all here.
You're not suing for that much money. Right now, you're almost to the amount of money from back
I mean,
rent.
this coffee cup right here that's broken on the porch, somebody threw that at the window. And I asked...
Keep going.
Your Honor?
What?
The doorbell was removed because he took it down. It didn't work. He took it down. He was going to repair it. Grandma said that she didn't have the money to repair it, so we just left it on top of the refrigerator. This stuff is all just a mess from moving.
Just a minute. What do you mean it's a mess from moving? Why did you leave a mess when you moved?
We
Who was
were
supposed to
moving, so we had
Who was
stuff
supposed to clean it
scattered.
up?
No,
Just, Missy, who was supposed to clean it up? Did you come back and clean up your mess after
Yes,
you moved?
this stuff we took with us.
I'm talking about the mess after you left. Cat litter, cigarette butts in the cat litter, dirt all over the place. Did you come back and clean that up?
No, my grandmother did not want me to come back to clean it up.
Did you? You mean you called your grandmother and said, I left the house a mess, I want to come back just for a day, just to
No,
clean
my
up the mess?
grandmother made it very clear, do not come back.
The sheriffs escorted her out, and when she forgot 1 or 2 items inside the place in her, hasty exodus from the residence, they wouldn't even let her back in to get those items, okay? And so, when a sheriff's there and the kids are all on the porch crying, and she's trying to get her stuff and get out. I'm not making her out to be an angel, but she's a good person, Your Honor, and I love her. And you see her sister over there crying, and I'll tell you why she's crying. Because you're making her out to, you're guessing, and I respect your position.
I'm not guessing, Mr.
No, that's
Bradford.
exactly what you're doing.
Listen,
That's exactly
I'm not
what you're
guessing,
doing.
sir. Am I guessing at the fact that Miss Oman has 3 children? Am I guessing?
That part you're not.
Am I guessing at the fact that each of her 3 children have 3 different fathers?
No,
not
you're
guessing
not.
at that. I'm not guessing at the fact that she was addicted to drugs and alcohol. I'm not guessing at that.
No, ma'am, you're not.
I'm not guessing at the fact that you've been involved in this family for less than a year. I'm not guessing at that.
No, you're not.
And I'm not guessing at the fact, sir, that you don't know one thing that went on in this family from your own personal knowledge for the last 10 years.
Well,
you don't know that.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Miss Garrett, listen to me. Don't rent them an apartment anymore. I don't know if he's going to be long-term or short-term, whether he's going to be as long-term as the other 3 guys that were in your granddaughter's life. I haven't a clue. You've sued for very little money, slightly over $1,100. They owe you at least $800 in rent. That's your lawsuit. $1,184 is what your lawsuit was for. There is, based upon what I've seen, the mess alone in that apartment, as far as I'm concerned, takes at least $300 to clean up that kind of disaster. So, you tell me that this was a painful thing for you to do.
Yes, it is.
I not only think it's painful, I'm not so sure that I would have done it. I would have just said, from now on, I'm not going to bail my granddaughter out, and I would have eaten the $1,100. You chose not to do that, and I can't fault you for not saying, I'm going to chalk it up and write, from now on, they're on their own. It's sad that you brought her to court. She owes you the money. She owes you the money for rent, and she owes you the money for cleaning up the mess that she and her boyfriend left in your house. Judgment is for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,100. That's it.
Ms. Anderson, parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ex-boyfriend,
Yes, Your Honor.
who you say owes you money because you bailed him out of jail.
Yes.
When was this? How many years ago?
Oh no, it was in August.
And how much did this cost you?
$1,300.
Do you have a receipt for that from the bail bondsman?
Yes, I do.
How long had you been going out with him?
Okay, in the end, it was about 4.5 months.
So how long did you know him before you bailed him out?
3, I believe.
3 months. Tell me about this night that you got arrested. It was during the night?
Yeah, it's 3 in the morning. I just dropped Laurie off at her house, and at the time I was driving my truck through Richmond Heights, Missouri, and they flagged me because my plates weren't registered to the truck at the time.
How'd that happen?
They just ran my plates.
No.
Oh, okay.
How did it happen that you had the wrong plates on your truck?
I had just traded in my Grand Prix and just had the truck for about a good week or so.
Uh-huh.
And they ran my plates. It was 3 in the morning, and they ran my plates and they flagged me, and that's when they got the warrants on me.
What? So they said license and registration.
Right.
And when they looked at your license, so they said license and registration.
Right.
And when they looked at your license, bingo. Now, how many warrants did you have, Mr. Anderson?
I had 14.
14 warrants.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't like to go to court, sir?
No, it was just at the time I didn't take care of them.
What kind of warrants were they?
Traffic.
All traffic.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Missouri. Mm-hmm. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Missouri, and they haul you into jail.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do? You're entitled to 1 phone call. Who do you call?
First person I called was my grandmother. She had a 3-way.
And your grandmother said no.
My grandma, no, I knew my grandmother didn't have the money. First person I called was Mahisha Vance. I called her first because...
Who is she?
That is my girlfriend.
Was she your girlfriend at the time?
No, we had separated and I started dating her, but I was still talking to her at the time.
So you called her first?
Yes, ma'am. I called her for the simple fact I had a paid lawyer at the time. And I called then, after that, I called Laurie Calloway, but no one answered. So I called my mother. I told my mother to go get my truck. Therefore, she had went over to Laurie's house and picked her up. And from what my mother was telling me, that they told Laurie that
No.
basically...
Don't tell me what your mother says.
Okay.
They told
anyway.
Laurie. Did you speak to Miss Calloway?
No, I didn't speak to Miss Calloway. I spoke to my mother. My mother went and got Miss Calloway. Miss Calloway got my truck. Then, therefore, I told her at the time, I spoke to Laurie when I called her house and asked her, did she have my truck? I got
So you did speak to Miss Calloway?
After I got to another municipality.
So you're on this bus going from one place to another to satisfy all these warrants?
Yes.
And you did, in fact, at one of those locations, call the plaintiff?
Yes, I did.
Now let's talk about the bail.
I spoke to Miss Calloway, and I told her at the time I had a paid lawyer. Yes.
What did you tell her you had to pay a lawyer for?
I had a paid lawyer I was going to get out. She decided she wanted to get me out before she go back to school so she could see me.
Shh. You had to pay a lawyer.
I had a paid lawyer.
You had a paid lawyer.
Plus I had $375 in my property. Okay. And that she told me she bailed me out of all those counties. She only bailed me out of 3 counties because I had money in my property when I got locked up.
What do you mean money in your property?
I had money. When they locked me up, I had $375 in my property.
In your pocket, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so you had $375 with you.
Yes.
But you needed another $1,300 to get out of jail.
13, it would have been like 900 or so with that.
Oh.
Because when I went to the county, I had $375 in my property because Richmond Heights didn't hold me. I had $375 in my property because Richmond Heights didn't hold me.
Ms. Calloway, relax.
Richmond Heights didn't hold me for a bond. They just held me for the other counties. Okay.
Mr. Anderson.
Me for a bond. They just held me for the other counties. Okay.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
She spent $1,300 to get you out of jail. Now, I read something in here that you didn't show up once she got you out of jail. Did you default on this bail?
I showed up for my bail. I showed up for my court cases.
You did?
Yes.
Let me see the papers that you have.
Yes, ma'am.
You sure you showed up on all your cases? Think carefully. Did you show up on all your cases?
Think carefully.
That's very easy for me. Did you show up on all your cases, Mr. Anderson?
I don't think so.
Right. Shh. Right. And because you didn't show up on all your cases, the bail was forfeited. Isn't that what happens?
Yes.
Aren't you glad you told the truth?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I put a TV in her room. I bought her a VCR. I bought her numerous of clothes, shoes, and everything. I did not ask her to bail me out. She did this on her own.
And later today,
You want to be a bum?
No.
You're on your way.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lori Calloway says she came to the rescue of her former boyfriend, Camise Anderson, and bailed him out of jail. Now she wants payback.
Let me ask you this question. When you went before the judge and you got bailed out, did you promise the judge you would come back?
Yes, I did.
So you lied. Right? Hama? Well, you didn't come back. Did you forget? You forgot. You forgot, right?
I probably missed one case.
You forgot.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Now, you want to tell me, sir, why you think you don't owe her this money?
For the simple fact, if that was the case, then I should be countersuing her for what I've gave her. I've gave her numerous of things. I put a TV in her, I put a TV. That was before I got locked. I put her two shoes and everything. I did not ask her to bail me out. She did this on her own. I had a paid lawyer, you know. And basically, I had a paid lawyer at the time.
What is
She
your
did this
lawyer?
on
Your
her-
lawyer wasn't giving you...
I had a paid lawyer at the time.
What is
She
your
did this
lawyer?
on
Your
her-
lawyer wasn't giving you $1,300 to get out of jail. What difference it make? You keep saying you had a lawyer. Anderson, pay the money, sir. Buying her a VCR and a television set and a couple of pairs of shoes doesn't wash. You know, you have to be, how old are you?
26.
Are you working now?
Yes, I am.
If you want to drive a car, you have to be responsible. If you get a ticket, you have to show up. If you don't show up and you have a warrant issued and the judge says to you, do you promise to come back? You got to come back. And if because you forgot she lost her $1,300, you got to pay up $1,300 for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, $2,500. Who's stupid? Who's paying? I'm not. But your man is. All right, but your man. That's the whole. That's the whole point. Man You're right. Did you hear yourself? My man. Your man. My man. You can have him. Okay, and I got him. Had him all the time. And you can have him. And I got him. And you can have him. Both of y'all can talk to my diploma because don't neither one of y'all have one.
And now the next case.
Parties on Maldonado versus Ashlock. Step forward, please.
34-year-old Anthony Maldonado claims neighbor Debbie Ashlock's 13-year-old nephew, Christopher Ashlock, vandalized his home.
You folks are neighbors.
Yes, we are.
Live in private houses?
Yes, ma'am.
How close to each other do you live?
10 feet apart.
So you're right next door neighbors.
Right.
How long have you been neighbors?
About 4 years.
This is your nephew?
Yes.
The nephew at issue?
That's correct.
How long has he been living with you?
7 years.
How old are you, young man?
13.
What's your name?
Chris.
Mr. Maldonado, according to your complaint, this young man causes a lot of damage to your property.
Correct.
Miss Ashlock says she can't be responsible for all the neighborhood kids, whatever damage her nephew has, in fact, caused to your property, she's prepared to pay for. Let's hear about the fence, because the fence seems to be something that you agree you're responsible for, or this young man is responsible for. What happened to your fence, and what kind of fence was it?
It's a cinder block wall that I ended up putting up on my own. She wasn't able to afford to pay her part of it. I did urge her to try to help me with it because it was a very large wall. And it
Mr.
was
Maldonado.
expensive. Yes, ma'am.
We're not going back to the flood, sir. I want you to tell me about the damage to the fence that he caused.
He removed all the grout, ma'am.
All the grout?
Yes.
Explain to me how he removed the grout from the cinder block, sir.
He must have had a lot of energy because, he dug into the grout, into the blocks, with, I believe, some sort of sharp instrument, maybe a screwdriver or something. I saw both, actually him and two of his friends, who are my other next-door neighbors, doing that.
Did you sue them?
I did not sue them because I actually saw him with the device. And,
yeah, but they were all doing it, you said.
Well, they were all within the vicinity, yes. Eventually, they all admitted.
All right, so how much did this cost you to regrout the fence?
Actually, there was estimates for $60 to just regrout it, which isn't much. I guess it's mostly the principal. I've had a lot of problems with them.
Let me explain something to you.
Right.
This is a court.
Right.
So if there was damage caused that you saw, or that you have a witness, and that witness saw, I'm prepared to hear that. So I want you to tell me, other than this grout, which costs $60, okay, so $20 of that we will attribute to him because he was there with two other people who were probably all chipping away at the grout, right?
Yes.
And what were you using to chip away at the grout?
Stick, Your Honor.
What else did you see him do?
I saw them throwing stones this one afternoon before I left for work. He and his two friends again over onto my yard. It's always happening on their side of their house. They were throwing stones. I alerted them not to throw any more. And when I left for work, I come back late at night. I noticed that there were cracks in my skylight. And it was raining, so it started leaking. I went up there, found out that there was also bricks up there that had been thrown up there purposely to crack my skylight open.
But Mr. Maldonado, you didn't see who did that?
I didn't actually see the person that threw the exact stone, no, Your Honor.
Or the bricks?
Right.
Tell me, Mr. Maldonado, what other damage you actually saw, if any, Chris do to your home?
I've had also an assault. I mean, that time that I caught them digging into the grout, they were assaulting me with dirt clods. That's one of the...
Throwing dirt clods at you?
Right. And some of them did hit me.
All right, so what I'm gathering from this, Mr. Maldonado, is other than the business with the grout, you didn't actually see Chris here do anything to your property, but you surmised it was Chris and his friends because you're a pretty good guesser.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Every time Chris turned around, Anthony was blaming him for something that he didn't do. Excuse me, but the last 2 years have been very stressful with this neighbor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Anthony Maldonado says his neighbor's nephew, Christopher Ashlock, damaged his property.
Did you get a report card last year?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
Not really good.
You know, Chris, I could have told you that. You want to be a bum?
No.
You're on your way. Because he can't prove to me that you did, or not you alone, prove to me that you did, or not you alone, you with other neighborhood kids, you with a couple of friends. He can't prove to me that you did all the damage to the house if you did it. And if you're spending your time vandalizing somebody, if you did it. And if you're spending your time vandalizing somebody else's property rather than going to school and trying to make something of yourself, then you're going to grow up to be a bum. That's what's going to happen. What are you going to do for Mr. Maldonado to correct this damage that you've been doing to his house?
We've already fixed it.
You fixed it?
Yeah.
Tell me what you fixed.
The wall.
Mm-hmm. Did he fix the wall?
It was very haphazardly done, yes.
But
Mr.
it's
Honor.
fixed.
Yes.
You going to bother him anymore?
No, I haven't bothered him for a long time. It was a couple years ago.
You going to bother him anymore?
No, I haven't bothered him for a long time. It was a couple years ago that we did this to his wall.
Ms. Ashlock, is there anything you want to say?
Yes, in Christopher's defense, the wall, excuse me, but the last 2 years have been very stressful with this neighbor. But the wall was an accumulation of it was like Christopher's frustration. He realizes it was wrong and he shouldn't have done it. And we had to talk about it and he was punished for it and I fixed the wall.
Okay.
And it didn't cost $60, it was free. But in his frustration out of Anthony doing all these things to him, every time Chris turned around, Anthony was blaming him for something that he didn't do. It was his way of retaliating against somebody a little bigger than he is.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
My sense is, Miss Ashlock, that Chris has a lot of frustrations. His parents aren't together, lived with his father. Father not around anymore, he's with his aunt and his grandmother, and decided doesn't have both feet planted right, and his school is suffering, and he's hanging around with kids and getting himself into trouble. All of those things are probably true, right?
They were maybe 6 months ago.
Okay, well, if he's back on track, that's really good. And I'm pleased to hear that. You sound like a very nice lady. So your wall is fixed, and you can't prove that Chris did any other damage. You probably felt it, but can't prove it. So, Mr. Maldonado, there isn't an award that I can give you, sir. You understand that?
I understand that.
I believe that you understand that your neighbor is a nice lady. And is trying her best under difficult conditions. Right?
I realize that, ma'am.
Good. So, try to be understanding. And you got to realize that when you take on this kind of responsibility, sometimes there are problems and you got to deal with them.
And I do. I try to.
I know you do. I wish you a lot of good luck.
Thank you.
Because it's going to be, how old is your niece?
10.
How do you do in school?
Good.
Yes?
She's on the honor roll.
Great. I'm pleased to hear that. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Today?
No, Judge. Sometimes you just don't listen. This is number 424 on the calendar in the matter of Genitz versus Together. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Your last name isn't Together.
No, Marsha Engel.
Engel?
Engel.
And you have a dating service?
I work for a dating service.
You own it?
No, I don't.
Do you have the power to appear here on behalf of the owner?
Yes, I do.
You were interested in meeting some ladies.
Yes. Together contacted me by telephone and left me a message on my answer machine.
How did they contact you?
In the past, I had filled out a thing that they have if you're interested in possibly joining a dating service. It was like a few years earlier, and I never did join Together. But evidently, they recalled after a couple years looking for new clients, I suppose.
Okay.
So they called, and they left me a message wondering if I'd be interested. And like I said, left a message on my answer machine. I called back, and I says, sure. I talked to some gentleman, which I don't know what his name was, and I set up an appointment. So I went down there probably within a few days or a week's time, and I met this woman named Gail. That's who they had me. She basically told me what the structure of Together was all about, how it worked. We sat down. I probably stayed there, I would imagine, if I remember, a couple hours. They really get personal into your business. They want to know who you are, what kind of money you make, do you really work. And also they have you fill out a form asking you what particulars are you looking for in a person, whether it be age, looks, background.
Do you have a copy of that form?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That actual form I don't. I went up to the office and I asked if I could get that particular form that I filled out, and they told me I'd have to make an appointment for during the week.
Let me see a copy of the form you filled out, please. Anyway, how much did this cost you, sir?
$795.
That's what you paid them in total?
Yes.
Okay. It says he will date, age range, well, it says 30 to 40, and that's crossed out, but in parentheses it says 35. Height range, 5'3" to 6 feet? Is that
yeah,
what you
I
said?
probably did. I don't remember that part.
Slender. You don't care whether they're single, divorced, or widowed, right?
Well, no.
Marital status. You don't care.
They can't be married.
Single, divorced, or widowed.
Yeah.
And with kids, maybe.
Right.
Prefer a non-smoker, social drinker, Caucasian, education is open, profession is open, Christian, Catholic. So far?
Right. It didn't matter really
Okay.
the religion so much as Christian.
And the rest of it, sort of the soft stuff. Honest, caring, hard worker, romantic, easygoing, down to earth, open-minded, sense of humor.
Right. They asked both of us.
I'd like all those things too.
Right. Don't we now?
What?
We do, but you know, that's just the basics of trying to match. You're not going to get all that, I realize.
Yeah,
that.
I know. Okay. And then it tells you, what's your wish list?
Well, it's something I paid for, basically.
Right. All right. Now you're suing them for even more than the $795 because you said you had to take a lot of these ladies out on dates, I assume.
No, that's not true. I'm just suing for my court costs and me taking off work to file for court costs. I'm not asking for money back. And actually, I never really took the women out. We had like meetings. What it is you.
Okay. So the contract was $795. And now I'd like you to describe for me, sir. You did go out on some dates that they arranged for
Actually,
you.
they weren't really dates or meetings.
Meetings?
Yes.
All right.
It's a difference.
Meetings.
Okay.
Because you weren't going to spend anything unless you sort of like...
Well, that's how it works for both parties.
You go someplace,
right,
you meet,
exactly.
you look, you
yes.
take a look, and then
right,
you leave.
exactly. You feel each other out to understand what you're coming from, who you like.
Okay. And where do these meetings usually take place?
The first one, the first lady that I met her up in her hometown. I think it was up around Buffalo Grove, if I remember right.
Okay, and describe this lady to me.
I don't know what you mean by describe her.
Describe her physical appearance.
Physical features. She was heavier than I wanted in a woman, and she had dark hair, and she was what I would, in my personal preference, not what I would even consider average looking, because I asked for somebody in this, like I said, something I paid.
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Exactly, and it's something.
How old?
I'm sorry.
How old? Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Exactly, and it's something.
How old?
I'm sorry.
How old?
How old? If I remember right, she was, I think, 38 or 39.
So that's within the age range.
It was.
Okay, and she was available. She was either single, widowed, or divorced.
She was a nice person. We sat at a bar in this German tavern, and we had drinks, and we talked for a while, and she just wasn't my type at all.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So I assume that after that date, you called back and said she wasn't my type.
Actually, they have a form that you fill out. It's until you can get another date, you have to fill out like a fact finder form.
Okay, so then you filled out a form. Do you have a copy of that form?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? This was after the first date.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this says she was friendly and down to earth. No attraction on my part. I like ladies a little slimmer. To me, she was what I consider average looking. I'm afraid to ask.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Well, here's the woman that you went out with who was 43. He told me he knew it would never work and got up and left. How embarrassing. He's the most impolite person I've ever met, and I feel very sorry for anyone who meets him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tom Jeanette says Marcia Engel and Together Dating Service did not fulfill his dating needs, and he wants a refund. Marcia says the contract clearly states there are no refunds.
So tell me about the second.
Welcome to Autobike Brand, your ultimate source for everything two wheels. Today, we're diving deep into the latest evolution of Kawasaki's iconic cruiser, the 2025 Kawasaki Vulcan S. A bike that blends classic cruiser DNA with modern sport-inspired performance, the Vulcan S has always been a favorite for riders who want comfort, versatility, and style without sacrificing performance. For 2025, Kawasaki has taken things up a notch, introducing refined styling, advanced features, and a smoother ride experience. Design and styling. The 2025 Kawasaki Vulcan S continues its tradition of breaking away from typical cruiser conventions. It sports a low-slung frame with a long wheelbase and aggressive stance, now enhanced with sharper lines and premium paint options. The front end is more streamlined with an updated LED headlamp, giving it a modern edge while keeping the distinctive Vulcan character. Kawasaki's Geofit customization system remains a highlight, allowing riders to tailor the seat, handlebars, and footpeg positions for maximum comfort, making it suitable for riders of all sizes. Engine and performance. Under the tank sits Kawasaki's proven 649 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled parallel twin engine, tuned for smooth low and mid-range torque. This makes the Vulcan S a joy to ride in the city and equally confident on highways. For 2025, Kawasaki has optimized fuel injection mapping, improving throttle response and fuel efficiency. The 6-speed gearbox shifts with precision, while the slipper clutch provides a lighter lever pull and smoother downshifts. With around 61 horsepower, the bike balances spirited performance with approachable power, ideal for both beginners and experienced riders. Comfort and ergonomics. Kawasaki designed the Vulcan S with rider comfort at its core. The low seat height of just 27.8 inches makes it easy to handle, even for shorter riders. The redesigned seat padding for 2025 offers better support on longer rides. The forward foot peg position and swept-back handlebars create a relaxed riding posture, while the slim chassis makes maneuvering in traffic a breeze. Technology and features. The 2025 Vulcan S comes equipped with a full LED lighting setup, a semi-digital instrument cluster with gear position indicator, and a USB charging port as standard. ABS is available on all variants, providing extra safety in unpredictable conditions. Kawasaki has also added a new traction control system, giving riders more confidence on slippery roads, a welcome addition for touring enthusiasts. Handling and ride quality. The bike's lightweight chassis and low center of gravity give it nimble handling for a cruiser. The telescopic front forks and preload adjustable rear shock deliver a smooth ride, whether you're cruising along the coast or navigating urban streets. Paired with responsive braking and stable cornering, the Vulcan S delivers a balanced ride that suits both daily commutes and weekend escapes.